What's going on, everybody? It's Patrick Deng. So in this video, we actually have a special interview with one of my good friends, Jejouw, who is the co-founder of Karafuru, and they also have an upcoming project called Karafuru 3D. So Jejouw, how you doing, man?
I'm good, sir.
Yeah, doing good. Okay, good to hear. You know, for my interviews, I feel like people kind of already know what Karafuru is. They've seen the teasers, looks pretty cool. But for our time here, I kind of want to give people like a feeling of who you are as a founder, right? Because who's running the project is probably the most important, because there's going to be ups and downs. I mean, briefly, can you explain like what Karafuru is in your eyes, and then we'll kind of go deeper into like your history and stuff like that?
Sure. I think Karafuru is 555 project of NFT that we are putting on where they really are. Our mission is bringing Web3 to Web2 together, which is I want to put it NFT and then after that bring it back into the Web2 as an IP. And of course, we collab with Museum of Toys, USS, Artifact, Grady, Hadrian, and Andrew to make it all-round sustainable from Web3 into Web2.
Got you. Okay, so it's like an IP brand essentially.
It is.
It's an IP brand, right? Similar to like Pokemon or Mickey Mouse, but you guys are doing it in your own way, right?
Yes.
So for you, right, one question I'm curious is to understand is like before doing Karafuru and before getting into NFTs, you're like an influencer in like Indonesia and doing some streetwear stuff. So like, can you kind of explain like, you know, what you were doing before NFTs?
So actually, if you know, Karafuru is under my company, which is Society or USS Network. We're doing sneaker event. We're actually the biggest sneaker event in Southeast Asia with 50,000 until 60,000 people every event that we created.
Okay.
We do USS Fit, which is one of the biggest lifestyle media. Looks like Hypebeast also. We have some YouTube channel that focusing on lifestyle, young people, Gen Z, stuff like that. Even though that's my company, I myself working as USS as a conceptor and, you know, getting a new experimental project. So my company, which is USS, told me to try to get around with NFT. I create NFT before. There's some 4 project that I helped to create, but the only one that I bring it back to my company because I feel I'm ready and I want to take this as lead into my company, pretty much like that.
Got you. And so for USS, who is the owner of USS?
Me and Saya. The USS itself is already invested, I think around $35 million valuation.
Okay, so it's a big company essentially.
Pretty big. We have 80 people right now working on under USS. We do own our own studio. We do have our own artists, stuff like that. So yeah, most of the art that you see, including the 3D, is created by us and our vendor. So
you guys were already a large company and then you moved into the NFT space. And now you're like connecting everything together in a sense.
It's still, USS is not full-time NFT, but part of the company asked me to explore NFT.
Got you. Okay. How did you even get to that point where you're part of USS and you're doing these sneaker events? Did you just started doing it like a few years ago and it just like worked, or?
The USS itself, it started like 2017. I started collecting sneakers from United States since 2012. In Indonesia, I think same in Vietnam, it's really hard to getting sneakers that time because everything only a sports sneakers, which is, you know, sneaker for playing soccer, playing footballs, and all the cool sneakers came from, you know, United States. And that time I'm working with my dad. My dad have injection company, plastic injection, but I feel like this is not something that I want to pursue when I was like 22, 23. I quit my job and started sneaker business since 2015. However, at 2017, I think it become kind of big and I decided to make a sneaker event, pretty much like that.
Oh, I see.
And I'm getting a lot of followers, and I believe my market is pretty young. It started from like 15 years old, 18 years old. I decided I don't want to work only for sneakers. I mean, that's why I put event, media, music, and of course NFT.
Oh, I see. So did it start with just like buying sneakers from one country and then bringing them into Indonesia? Is that with the beginning?
Yes.
Oh, I see. And then you just kind of grew that. You know, like you're kind of famous in Indonesia a little bit, right? Like when I was at the Karafuru a little bit famous, right? I was at the Karafuru festival. We were just walking around. Every 10-20 seconds there's somebody that wants a picture, so that's kind of cool
because I already did event in USS before. I mean, that's the point where I think USS have a lot of impact on our offline event. If new people trying to create like stage like Karafuru event, the one that you came, I think it's really hard for new people, but for us, it's pretty easy.
Because that's what you've been doing, right?
Yeah, we've been doing like for 4 or 5 years.
When it comes to like being like an influencer, right? Did you always want to like be an influencer, or was it just like part of the role to like promote your company, or?
Oh well, it's hard to. And you need to sacrifice a lot of things. I mean, become influencer. There's no private life, everything is open. If you play sneakers, Sean Weatherspoon. Sean Weatherspoon come to USS and open a booth. If you talking to me like every 10 seconds that you saw me taking pictures, Sean Weatherspoon maybe like every 2 seconds. Man.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, are you not tired? Like, I was like taking him to his hotel, but he's saying like, you need to appreciate your fans. Every time they ask you for pictures, signature, you need to put smile on it. Do not get rude, and then because they are the one that making you famous, and you can be like this. So I learned. That's the point, that having this kind of responsibility and fame, I think with a bigger power and bigger fame, I take it as more responsibility.
Kind of like Spider-Man, right? With
I mean, if you cannot control it. I mean, I still remember when I getting famous in the early times.
Yeah.
I'm getting kind of a little bit cocky.
Oh.
I was like,
it's like, like everybody wants to take a picture with me, right?
After like 3-4 years, that's the time where you're getting more mature. I mean, you appreciate more people, and then I already past 30, so you kind of appreciate those little things that from your fans.
No, I get you. I mean, I'm not the celebrity like you are, but I definitely feel that.
Trick. I mean, you have the ability.
We'll see. Cool. So we kind of get a feeling at the background. You did USS, did pretty well. So I'm curious to know, like, when you guys started to get into NFTs or dip your toe, right? Did you like buy and sell NFTs before that, and that's how you like got to get the idea? Yeah, can you tell me about that? Like, what got you into it? Were you just like, oh, I got a FOMO in?
Started with party penguins, got whacked, but that bro, I was like investing 7 Ethereum.
Wait, why though? Why party penguins? Was it just like it appealed to you at that time?
I used to look at rarity tools, check which one is rare. I don't know. Right now, no one's checking rarity tools in NFT.
Oh, yeah, not really.
Not really. Before, rarity tools is really powerful. From 7 Ethereum, it become 12, I believe. I was like, damn, I'm getting rich, man. Then after that, it become like 0.1. So from 7 become 3, bro. And then after that, I feel whacked, but I go all into minting on one because it's actually Brian, the artist, is my friend. So he told me that, hey, you gotta mint this one. It's pretty hype. And I was like, all right. In all his allocation, I got a legendary, a solid like 30 Ethereum. I was like, now I get it. And then, after that, I learned about NFT trading. And after that, I'm helping some of my friends NFT. I built Artifact with my friend to become NFT Launchpad. And after that, I feel like Karafuru need their own IP, which is we collab together with Museum of Toys, Artifact, and Hadrian and Andrew, and create our IP, which is Karafuru. And Karafuru, if you asking, are you expect it's gonna big like this? No, man. We only expected like, hey, we upload it, we sell it, and then after that, if people want to convert as a toys, Museum of Toys will help you to make your own toys. But it grew so big. I mean, we are the top 35 in Opensea or whatever. So with a big NFT project like this, we need to put more responsibility. We need to take care of the community. So I mean, it's already like 4 or 5 months. Yeah, going to 5 months. And I think Karafuru community is still really, really strong.
Yeah, I definitely see that. I definitely see them coming into my Discord as well, and they're like, "Oh, Karafuru." So I definitely see that. Taking it back to the creating the NFT. So in the beginning, did you start Artifact, which is like the launchpad, before Karafuru?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So the idea there, was it like you would find an artist and you would create an NFT project with them, like co-do it?
Yes.
Okay, and then you guys partner with Willie, right?
Willie.
So basically, when you guys did that, you just weren't expecting it to just blow up. It's
just a blew up.
Wow. So was everyone involved? Were they just like, when they saw the reaction, were they just, okay, we got to go all in on Karafuru now?
I think everyone is not expecting it's blew up like this. For me, it's just an IP for USS. That's why in contract we do have 51%. I think because people doesn't expect this something becomes something big in Web3. We were like, okay, we're selling out. We're gonna give people our own toys. We're gonna do fast people, maybe like 5,000 people gonna come, 10,000 people. But and after we launch and we getting super hype, even in Asia, we do have 200,000 people came for our event. Those kind of thing, I mean, we need to appreciate our community better. That's why I'm pretty always listen to our community. I mean, they said like, hey guys, I think Karafuru need to collab with some Web2 brands that really focusing on the young people. So that's why I'm using my real life connection. So that's why we can collab with Hypebeast, which is one of the best sneaker media in the world, biggest sneaker store in Japan. I think it's gonna help leverage our brand also into worldwide. For us right now, doing the 3D is helping Karafuru itself to get more exposure into the worldwide business.
Sure. And taking it back to that, how did that collaboration like come about? Were you just like friends with someone at Hypebeast and you said, hey, do you guys want to do an NFT? And they're like, sure.
It's kind of like that. It is kind of
really?
I talked with some of my friends in Hypebeast, and I talked to some of my friends in Atmos. My relationship with Atmos is actually pretty close because we actually bring them Atmos into Jakarta in 2018 and 2019. We do pop-up. We do have merch collaboration between USS and Atmos. So the relationship is pretty easy, that one.
Yeah, they trust you already, right?
Yeah, they trust my ability already, and they trust my portfolio. They were asking about like, hey, do you want to help? Do you need help on the Karafuru Genesis? And I said like, no, it's already done, and we're gonna meet it. But we're open for the collaboration. 1 week after our launch, they invite on talks again, and they want to collab. And we're saying that, hey, we already have Atmos, and Hypebeast were asking like, can we do it together? And boom, having the conversation is easy. The problem is the legal stuff on the Web2 take like 2 months. That's really, really long. I still remember when I met you on the event. I think I still remember it took so much time, but in the NFT, people doesn't have any patience, stuff like that. You know that Web2, they need time, they need
everything has to be to the books and everything, right?
And the 3D itself, even though we collab with Hypebeast and Atmos, they bring us a lot of collaboration in the future. And I Karafuru as a long-term project. For us, we don't have nothing to lose, man. I mean, I put it in my company, it's USS. It's mean that I put the USS future in Karafuru. As long USS, my company is still holding Karafuru as a business, so I still gonna work full time on Karafuru itself because I'm the one that owns USS. So yeah.
Yeah, got you. Quick question I think people are probably thinking is, how come like Hypebeast doesn't just create their own NFT project by themselves, or Atmos do it by themselves? Why do they feel like they have to do this three-way collaboration, right? Because they're already big, successful companies, right?
I think creating NFT is not that easy. I mean, looking on some NFT on streetwear and they bring it their own, it doesn't look well. It doesn't work out at all. I think they want to learn also. They want to learn how to create it. I think they want to collab with some NFT that potentially having open up collaboration. I think Karafuru is not trashy NFT. It's kind of have some history, some good utility, and then some good art that can collab with Atmos and Hypebeast. So I think learning from us, having a progress together, I think that's what they want to check is NFT is good for them or not. I mean, if I'm Atmos or Hypebeast, I think collaborating with some good NFT at the first place, I think it's a good betting. Better than they create their own NFT and they didn't know anything, they mess up.
Okay.
And
we're gonna move into like the 3D side of things, right? So obviously you're doing 3D project. Is doing 3D much more difficult than 2D? Because I know for my project, it's a 2D project. It's difficult to make it look good, but it doesn't take that much resources. But I'm thinking 3D is like like another game.
But man, that's why I'm pretty removing myself from Discord because 3D takes so much time from my life. Before in 2D, when they're working on me on my house. Right now, 3D, we need to go to studio, we need to render it. The hardest part is actually choosing stuff. I mean, in 2D, if when they make a mistake, just erase it, and then after 2 hours it's done. But 3D, no, you cannot make custom. It's everything already set up. Even the base took us 2 months. I still remember when we mint the 2D, we straight up go to 3D.
Just straight. Oh, like right away.
Yeah, we straight up right away because we already know that we're gonna make 3D, right?
Okay.
And then after that, we have a problem that how we utilize 3D in short amount of time. We need to do it. I mean, a lot of people after they sell it out, they go to rest. For us, we go straight away to producing a good 3D right away because we know if we take a break for 1 or 2 months, I think the 3D is not gonna be done like in 4 months. Yep.
Yeah, it takes a long time to do 3D, and it's a lot more resources. And all those artists and stuff, are they like all in-house with USS?
Some in-house from Museum of Toys and USS, and some is actually vendor.
Got you. Okay. With the 3D side of things, right? Like I took a look at the website, it looks pretty good. All the animation and stuff like that, right? When I was looking at the roadmap, right, I actually put a poll or a question on Twitter. I said, like, hey guys, I'm gonna interview Jejouw. You have any questions? And a lot of people want to know if they hold a Karafuru 3D, right? Like, what are they getting exactly? Are they getting like amazing art and that's where they're buying? Are they getting, like, I saw that there's like a Metaverse thing, there's exclusive merch. So maybe you could kind of explain like what they're getting.
The first one, you're getting avatar. I mean, the 3D is actually your avatar for your Karafuru Hypebeast Atmos. If you know, the collaboration is all about Karafuru style by Hypebeast, and the merch is produced by Atmos. It's created by Hypebeast also. It's gonna be looks good, sharp compared to the first Genesis. It's more like the utility pass stuff like that, and more cartoonish. It's more our IP, but the Karafuru, this one is actually one of the powerful PvP that when you buy our 3D and if you read our roadmap, we're gonna airdrop you the voxel and pixelated, and it's gonna be wrapped
with a 3D asset, right? Like every metaverse has its own specs. Like voxels is for, right?
Yes.
You have to create a voxel, and then some metaverses, they don't allow like super high quality renders, so it doesn't work, right? So is your solution just to create different assets for each specific world?
Yes, every wrap. If you're selling your pixelated, you're gonna sell your 3D.
Yeah. Oh, they're together.
They're together. Yes.
Oh,
so you cannot
interesting.
sell your pixelated version. You're gonna sell it your voxel version. No. It's all together. You buy one, you get 3, but everything is wrapped.
Oh, interesting. So if like, let's say a new metaverse pops off like a year from now, then you guys would probably create a version for that to fit it?
As long as you invest.
Unless you invest into it. Okay, so you have to like have land and like actually do something with it, right?
True. This is the part that on the second roadmap, which is the Metaverse, I explained that we invest in this, and those kind of avatar that we're gonna create it for you.
I see. So that kind of like future proofs it, because you can always build on top of it depending on how the market change, right? Because nobody can predict like what's gonna be successful. Like
I mean, for me, I don't want over promise. Hey, we're gonna make a metaverse. We're gonna make. That's pretty much bullshit for me right now. I mean, for us, I rather stick with any metaverse that already created and already have a transaction and volume, so we can adapt on that. Pretty much sandbox, Decentraland, which is using our 3D and using pixelated art for World Web 3, which is we already have it. The penthouse, it's easier for us to create some different avatar for you, but you cannot have separated. It's gonna be combined. Yeah, so you cannot sell your avatar. That's the real.
Yeah, so you have to keep the main one. Yeah, no, that makes sense. No one has done that yet, right? Yeah, usually it's separate. You can sell the voxel, but you keep this one, right? So that's a new idea. Now, if somebody has a 3D Karafuru, right? Is it similar benefits to holding the 2D one?
The Genesis always have more utility because that's more into like nanopass thingy. We always appreciate our Genesis. That's why we airdrop the 3D to the Genesis, because we appreciate them. I mean, we don't want to sell it again or whatever. We airdrop Patrick, and because we appreciate them. Second stuff is we feel that the Genesis is actually the access, everything that 3D did. For example, you want to create your own toys, getting the toys from your 3D, you still need your Genesis. Yeah, if you want to come to our Discord and get the photo rolls or holders room, you need the Genesis, not the 3D. The 3D is on getting like separate Discord things.
Okay, so if people want the maximum benefit, they would probably just keep holding the 2D one, right?
True. So that's the second one. The third benefit is actually the collaboration. This one, you don't have to use the Genesis because in the real life collaboration merch, which is you only need our 3D, and then after that, connecting to our website and we're gonna sell our official merch to the hodler. Yes.
Okay, and what can we expect from this merch, right? Because there's a lot of other projects that create merch, and it's just like put a print on a T-shirt, and I'm gonna sell it to you for $50, and you know what I mean. And you're from the streetwear world, Hypebeast, right? Obviously, so like
We're gonna announce it soon, but we hire people who work for Jordan and Union, and he already did for Travis Scott merch. So this is, and we're gonna use his name, his profile, and we have a lot of belief in this people skill.
Okay, so it's gonna be like legit merch. So that's something that people would pay a premium for, essentially, right? Because it's like supposedly like better quality, right? And that's available to all 3D holders.
You need to buy it. You still need to buy it, but it's exclusive to 3D hodler. Yes.
So for Karafuru 3D, right? A lot of times in Web3, a lot of projects, all they do is focus on creating more assets. So they'll be like, oh, Gen 1, then we're gonna do Gen 2, then Gen 3, and then basically raising money just to sell pictures, right? Obviously, over the long period of time, it's not always sustainable because you need to have different revenue streams besides just selling more NFTs. Can you talk to me about that? Whether you're selling merchandise and becoming like a strong merchandise arm versus maybe doing events, which you guys are really big on. So
we do have double revenue from the Web3 and the Web2, which is the Web2. We already work with Tokopedia, one of the biggest e-commerce in Indonesia. We work with Kopi Kenangan, which is one of the biggest coffee chain in Indonesia. They're using their IP. I think we're gonna work with Zipmax. Zipmax is one of biggest exchange in Thailand and Indonesia.
Okay, wait, so when you're working with these guys, what is the partnership like?
Yeah, more like IP, marketing, social media, and they pay us to rent our IP. Actually, some of them by Genesis, if they are not selling it, they can use our IP. So yeah, I'm connecting Web3 and Web2.
Wait, I saw you guys did a collaboration with the green clothes?
Yeah, they buy a lot of our Genesis and they're still holding it.
Okay, so it's like literally IP, like they use your IP, they create like special edition like Karafurus.
Yes.
And then it's like they improve their brand reputation for like a younger audience, for example, right?
Yes, yes.
Can anybody use your IP if they have a Genesis? Or is it like a special...
No, definitely yes.
Oh, so the Genesis I have, I can like use it for like anything?
Yeah, as long you don't use the Karafuru logo.
Oh, okay, so the character is okay.
The other good things is like Zipmax collaboration within us, so we're gonna promote Zipmax from our social media also, those kind of things. As long they have our Genesis.
As long as they have your Genesis, they can do it.
They don't need to pay us anymore as long they fasting our Genesis.
Oh, but okay. How would you guys make money then? Or you don't? That's not really a revenue stream, like.
As long they keep the floor, I think that's a good money for us. Patrick come to me and he said like, Jeffrey, I want Karafuru to collab with Patrick Dang. I want to open a coffee shop in Vietnam, stuff like that. And I say, okay, sure. You need to buy. I calculate the amount. You need to buy around 30 until 40 and you need to stack it minimal 6 months. You can use this IP that you already buy and we're gonna help you to promote it.
Oh, I see. So then they would work with you. Okay.
And it's for free as long you stack it. And you don't buy it from Opensea. See, that's the many people in Web3 doesn't think about it.
Yeah.
For us, what do you use it in the Web2?
Yeah, no, that's interesting. Okay, so can you imagine a world where there are like, I don't know, 100 different like large companies who all own like 30 Karafurus and they're all doing like their own separate kind of things?
Yeah, and it's gonna be freaking strong.
I see. So then if you're like a Genesis holder now, when like there's, not that many companies looking at it, maybe in a year there will be like, 20 companies holding this and they're not going to sell it, right? Because it's part of their business. Are you thinking in the same way with that, with the 3D Karafurus or more just the 2D side?
No, the 3D Karafuru cannot, because first is the IP is owned by Karafuru, Hypebeast and Atmos. Without any tree agreement from the tree company, we cannot do that.
So if they say, oh no, I don't want coffee shop, then it's not gonna work, right? Yeah, that's a new way to look at it, actually. I haven't thought about that before, or I haven't seen anyone.
Call me Jejouw. All the Zagabond things right now, he create a lot that I learned him so much,
Yeah.
People can hate him or love him, but for me, I learned a lot. He create a lot of stuff in NFT, so you cannot mislook those kind of things that he already create. Even though he already create Fang Zhang or whatever, I cannot say his thing is correct, but the NFT space learned a lot from Azuki and
for sure.
Saga.
For sure. Like, before all that stuff came out, like if you just looked at Azuki, it was a cool project, right? Like great art, like strong community, like everything. It was checking all the boxes. So I agree with you there. Like despite the past, even so, they did a pretty good job with Azuki like before all that stuff happened, right? Like they're crushing it, like really crushing it with the Museum of Toys collaboration, everything. Like, do you guys plan to sell like a bunch of toys? Like, if you do, I'm gonna have some like over here in the back.
Yeah, we're gonna launch our own toys. Actually, most money will go there because we need to invest on the toys makers, and we're gonna create a lot of toys from it. We're not 100% that we're gonna do this, but I'm thinking for the future holder, when our roadmap is done, everything that we're selling into our toys, we're gonna put some liquidity pool to our holder, so they can get rewards by holding it, you know.
Oh, for holding the 3D, you mean?
No, the Genesis.
Oh, the Genesis, definitely.
So the 3D is only the models that you can make it, but before you make it, you need to Genesis to unlock it, you know. Without the Genesis, you cannot make a toys.
Oh, interesting. So it's like the only people that can make the toy, you have to own the Genesis. You're trying to like connect it so that people will want to, in the future, you're basically just creating more value for holding a Genesis, essentially, right? That's the goal, right?
A lot of people like, oh my god, our Genesis is going down because the 3D looks cooler. Well, that's the purpose on it, you know?
Yeah.
But for me, Genesis is always have more utility for anything else. I mean, the 3D, you know, is collab, it's shared IP, it's not our IP. And, you know, for us, we're gonna focus it back on the Karafuru. Even the money from the minting from Karafuru 3D, the Karafuru Hypebeast Atmos is going back to Genesis anyway.
Got to reinvest back into your business, essentially, right?
Yes.
I mean, they're all under the same thing anyways, right? It's the same company.
But the Karafuru Hypebeast and Atmos more into a different IP, you know. It's a different.
Got you. Well, also makes sense. Also, like people might say like the 3D is like cooler and stuff, which makes sense because it's 3D. But at the same time, it's like when you have Genesis, you only have so many resources to create a product, right?
Yeah.
And then when you mint out, you have money to invest in the phase 2, right? That's how it works. It's like a startup essentially. Yeah. I mean, you would expect Gen 2 to look a lot better than Gen 1 because you have a lot more resources, obvious, right?
Definitely. But you need to make a differentiated. I mean, a lot of people creating Gen 1 and Gen 2, they looks pretty same. They doesn't have any different utility. I think I learned it from Jira also, and they know how to you make utilization from Gen 1, Gen 2, and the future of Gen 3. So, you know, this kind of thing is always case study that I always learn how to differentiate different of Karafuru itself. I mean, I don't want to say the Karafuru 3D is a Gen 2 because it's not even a Gen 2, it's a different collection.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. Okay, and so in the future, right, like where do you see Karafuru? Do you want it to be like this big IP brand that like every company is using?
Of course, I think Brady, Hadrian are talking with a lot of people, talking with some creator from Kung Fu Panda or whatever. We try to make a Bible, and we have a dream that Karafuru need to get known to all people who's not even playing NFT.
Oh, like more mainstream. So
that's our dream.
I see.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean Bible?
I mean,
Bible, like a book or?
Bible is actually because all of us know how to create Karafuru, but if you learn Kung Fu Panda or whatever Disney Pixar creator, they created the story.
Oh, the lore and stuff like that. Yeah.
Don't have any ability, and paying this kind of people is really expensive, you know.
Oh yeah, because it's a specialized skill that you can't just like hire somebody. Yeah.
It costs you more than $1 million and whatever. So we're gonna invest some money to these kind of people, and we're gonna show their portfolio in Twitter also, you know, in not paying unprofessional people. We're gonna use the most like capable people
the best of the best, right? Because I'm thinking about like all the projects that are like successful right now. There is no story essentially. It's just like a lot of hype. It looks cool, but there's no like, who's this character, what's their name? And I see on your Twitter page you're trying to do that a little bit where you have the names and you have like a little biography of them, like this is this person, right?
Yes.
Okay, so once you create like the story, I guess you can create like a movie, you can create an anime. There's a lot of things you can do with that actually.
Yes.
Okay, so do you think like everybody will have like Karafuru toys in their home? That's your goal?
So many people like, hey, my NFT is going to be the next IP. Come on, man. What is the next IP? The next IP, you're gonna make an event offline. IP is all about exposure. You need to get exposure. If your NFT is only exposure is only in Web3, that's not IP.
Yeah.
IP is getting more mainstream. I mean, come on, if you're asking like, do you know Pikachu? Of course you know Pikachu. A lot of people know Pikachu, even though it's part of Pokemon or whatever, but getting recognizable, getting people know them instantly. That's the real IP, and that's what I'm aiming for.
That's true. That's true. Because most of the Web3 NFT brands, the only people that really know them is like crypto Twitter and stuff like that, and maybe Bored Ape because they seeded it out to so many like celebrities. But besides that, not really, huh?
I told you, Bored Ape is an IP. Yes, of course, because even my dad already know what the hell with this monkey. Why is they cost it so expensive, and that's already IP. But other things, I don't want to tell any brands that. But if you're not recognizable in people who's not playing NFT, it's mean you're not an IP.
That's interesting. So for people who have the question of like, oh, like this is an IP, this is a brand, what's the utility of that? Like what would you say to that? If like, let's say you invest a lot in like exposure and things like that, but it's not like utility because people expect like play to earn and like stuff like that.
I always told people, check our roadmap. We don't have any token yet or coins or whatever. In the beginning it's only for the IP, but for us, we never forget about people who holding it us, because we are become so big. We're gonna have more utility but more fun. If I'm having our own token and we mess up about the calculation, the mathematics, we're gonna die also. It's not a solution. The solution is kind of like if we having a movie, whatever, if you holding it, you're the one that can watch it first, pretty much like utility in real life. You get the VIP treatment, stuff like that. If you don't have the Karafuru, you cannot watch it at the beginning. It's more like membership and pass for real life. Web3. I think that's gonna be the utility that I'm aiming for. But the other one, some community asking me to make a whitelist marketplace. We're thinking about that, but it takes time, because for us it's all about IP and brands.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's kind of like if you, let's say, like Pokemon cards are really hot right now, right? Like imagine you own the first Charizard. What's the utility of a Charizard? Nothing. It's just a Pokemon card.
Nothing.
Right? Literally nothing. But people put value in it, and Pokemon's like one of the biggest IPs in the world, right? And that's what gives it value, right?
That's the problem when, yesterday I'm positioning myself not as a boss or as a founder. Hey man, I'm Jejouw. No, like that. I'm pretty much, hey guys, do you have any concern? Do you have something that you want to talk, whatever? And some of them like, hey man, you need to expand your Genesis value, have some utility or whatever, because we're buying it on 3 Ethereum or 4 Ethereum. For us, it's actually not our, responsibility, because we always say it's only for the brands. However, we hearing you out. We want to give some reward for that, but we are not promising right now, because we gonna finish what we've been promised, right?
Yeah, finish what you promised.
In the middle, I said like, hey guys, I'm gonna use token, and we're gonna delay our 3D, and people gonna ask, why you changing your roadmap or whatever. There's no wrong, there's no right in NFT. For us right now, well, that's a right. If your floor price is 20 or 30, you always right, But for us right now, as long I'm doing my best, I'm not leaving Karafuru. I think, that's the commitment and the responsibility that I can give to Karafuru. You can ask a lot of founders. That's a lot of projects that value floor price is 0.01 or 0.2, 0.3, and they're still working, and we need some appreciation to that kind of thing,
Yeah, no, I hear you. I feel like in the crypto space, a lot of times people might be thinking too short term a little bit. Like a couple months ago, if someone was like, we're gonna do a token, Gen 2, whitelist marketplace, and then then you can stake your tokens so you can get Gen 3. And it's like, sometimes if you really think about it, like what is that even doing, right? It's almost like a distraction in some ways, because like as I'm building my NFT project, people are like, oh, you should do a whitelist marketplace. And I'm like, do we need to? Is that gonna help the brand?
I think it's depend on what is your dream for. For me, if you creating Patrick NFT itself, is more into become your OnlyFans subscriber, stuff like that. Whenever I have this access, I know what Patrick gonna buy or whatever. It's gonna be your inner circle. Those kind of people believe in you. So I think Patrick, do not go whatever people's been telling you. You can listen it, but stick believing to yourself, and your belief, your foundation, your passion. I mean, if your passion is YouTube, bring it into the YouTube, the utility, you know. So for me right now, I mean, we never expecting Karafuru become the top 35 in the world. We only expecting, hey guys, we just gonna make an NFT, Ethereum network, and then after that we can process it, become toys, and we're gonna selling toys. That's all. Before, but right now we want to improve it because we do have responsibility to make our hodler more have believe on us.
No, I hear you. And I appreciate you telling me that. Yeah, that definitely is a good point.
I mean, some people can stop right away. I finished my roadmap. Bye, guys. See
No, that's
ya.
true. Yeah, it's like I did what I said I promised, so that's it. As we come to the, near the end of our interview,
Yes.
is there any like final words you want to say to our lovely audience over here?
My name is Jejouw. Thank you for listening. Thank you getting Patriot Dang to me. And for us, I think we're gonna do the best for Karafuru itself. If you have any question or whatever, hit me on the Discord. I will reply you personally.
All right. I like to see that. I like to see a founder in the Discord. Appreciate it. Okay, guys. So that's been our interview with Jejouw. Go ahead and leave a comment, leave a like if you enjoyed it. Make sure to join their Discord if you want to learn more information on the drop. And we'll see you guys in the next one. All right. Thanks, Jejouw. I'll catch you later.
Bye, guys.
Yep. See ya.